you want to get into the self-defense conversation, a lot of people say that, but we're not talking about self-defense. We're talking about genocide. You know, this is the soundtrack to genocide. And we're so culturally conditioned, we're so psychologically conditioned that we don't even know that we are wielding our own genocide. You know, that's how that is the art of war. Like, white people wrote the book on the art of war. You get what I'm saying? I know it came from Sun Tzu and everything, but they perfected that shit.
Look, I'm feeling good today. I wish you were today. I'm pulling up in the hood today. I understood today. Tomorrow, and I promise I'm being grateful as I should today. I'm feeling nice today. I'm more than alright, okay. Honestly, I'm sorta kinda great. Got a smile on my face. Know what? I might just let this little light of mine shine. Feels good to be free.
Feels even better to be me.
The creator done woke me on my sleeve.
That means I'm right where I'm supposed to be.
So please put some lemon in my tea.
But miss me with that sour energy.
I'm floating on a higher frequency.
You can't disturb the synchronicity.
All right, peace and power to the people. You're tuned into the Ascension Coalition broadcast. I'm your host, Day 1, not Day 2, and I'm joined by the lovely Luna Young.
What's up, everybody?
A healer, a DJ, an entrepreneur. How you feeling today, Luna?
I'm feeling good today.
You feeling good today? I'm feeling good today, too. Looking good, feeling good. So this is our very, very first broadcast. You know, I had to catch myself. I was about to say podcast. This is more powerful than, you know, a podcast. This is a broadcast. You know, we're recruiting, we're reaching. This is the call, yes. The battle cry.
Yes, definitely.
How does it feel to come to this point?
I think it's been a long time coming. I've been preparing for this all my life. For real, for real. Yeah. How you feeling?
It feels like hard work's paid off, you know, and I think that we don't see or talk about enough the moments that it took to get to this point. So I'm gonna take the time to talk about it now. It was a lot of sleepless nights. It was a lot of grant writing, a lot of going to shows and vending and packing up the car and
late nights, early mornings.
You know, no time for yawning. You know, so I think just to be here, you know, I'm just reflective of, you know, how we got here, and I'm appreciative. So for those who don't know, the Ascension Coalition broadcast is our call to action for the Ascension Coalition and those who support the Ascension Coalition itself. Is a collective of artists, activists, poets who've come together to work to transform cultural paradigms. We're healing through creative expression, building power through narrative, and changing the structure of what the music industry is today. We want to give power back to the artists, and that's what we're doing. And so today we're going to touch on females or women in hip hop. You know, we're also going to talk a little bit about gun violence in the community. You know, because I think we have a different perspective than a lot of people, but it's something that needs to be addressed. It's become a buzzword of sorts, you know, but it's something that unless you're talking to actually people who are from that culture, you know, there's conversations that aren't usually being had on platforms like this. Then we're gonna give y'all a little star cash. You're gonna do a reading for us, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And then the Lunar Lounge. What's the Lunar Lounge?
The Lunar Lounge.
Yeah, where that's at? I see Lunar Lounge on my paper. What's that? Tell people about the Lunar Lounge.
The Lunar Lounge is a multi-dimensional subspace for you to go in while you listen to our broadcast. Just wait on it. Just wait on it.
Okay, I think I see. You should do that like Mystique tarot reading thing. You'll see it. But let's jump right in. So I'm gonna ask you first. You're a woman. You know, you identify as a queen, a goddess, right?
Thank you.
How do you feel about the state of women in hip hop today?
There's a lot of women in hip hop. There are not enough queens in hip hop. And that's what has really it's gone down. There weren't really too many queens in hip hop, you know, and to see them all lacking their throne is definitely a disappointment, to say the least. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of weight on my shoulders. Like I gotta do the most to really bring it back. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. It's disheartening, disappointing, needs work.
Yeah, I think that when we talk about women and rap and hip hop specifically, I don't think that women understand the power that they wield. You know, and that is culturally, it's culturally, you know, it's not just women, like black people in general, but I feel like right now women are running the industry, and they've been running the industry for the last 10 years, shall we say? And like just to see them still being exploited this way, why does every song that comes out that makes the chart, you know, have to really objectify black women? You know, why do we see women today having to twerk, having to, you know, strip, having to, you know, be scantily clad in every video, talking about things that should be sacred, you know? And why do we have to go there in order to put black women on the platform? You know, why do you think we're at this point right now?
I want to look at you and say, you know why?
I do know why.
I've been known this, something that my parents always told me, you know, like sex sells, right? And this is an industry. It's never really been about the music, for true. It's been about the money, and they really want to make a boatload of money. You know, they definitely want to make a boatload of money. Yeah, well, it's also it's easy. It's easy to take your clothes off, right? It's easy to make a song about living outside of your God body. And as we know, the industry has been coming for our young black kings for years now. And we'll get to that about the gun violence and how we got our young black kings killing each other. But now we got, you know, they set it up to have the queens get these young black men to kill themselves, and it's a dastardly cycle. Yeah, to say the least. This is too much to talk on this. I gotta slow down.
Yeah, I understand you got a lot to get off your chest, and for me, you know, just I can't be the one to say, hey, women, y'all fucking this money up. I'm a man. You know, I'm gonna get canceled for that immediately. Like I'll probably get canceled for even bringing it up. Oh no, you talking bad about women. But it's just, as a king, you know, I feel like it's our job to lead, and I think that we have to take responsibility as men, as kings, because we haven't been collectively leading within a culture the way that we should have been. And so that's why we're seeing women out there today. You know, what's leading us is that dollar, like you said, sex sells. You know, at the end of the day, it's the money that is motivating everybody. We're not standing on values or morals or ethics. It's all about, you know, what we can monetize. And I feel like, you know, every woman has a man in their life that is, you know, somewhat influential. And regardless of how, you know, you feel about different roles within a household or within society, you know, I think that men definitely need to take some level of accountability for where we're at, you know, and that means by talking to your younger sister or talking to your daughter or having a conversation about, you know, what your partner or girlfriend or girlfriends are posting, and just having conversations about what we're communicating and how are you benefiting or how are you not benefiting off of this. I think that's a conversation that needs to be initiated, and, you know, where it goes from there, that's just, I can't be responsible for that, but I think it's something that we definitely should talk about. Why are we here? You know, we was having a conversation the other night about the difference between sensuality and sexuality, you know, and how many times are these conversations being had, you know, before you're going out and promoting yourself in such a way, whether it's on Instagram or through your music, through the subject matter, you know, how do you even view sex? How do you even view your body? Like, what is your relationship, and have you even explored that enough to be giving it away to the world the way that we're seeing today? You know, so I guess I'm curious to know your thoughts on the sensuality versus sexuality conversation.
Sensuality versus sexuality. There's a stark difference. There is a difference between the two, and the first that really comes to mind is the way that we move, the way you were talking about, it's like the way that you're gonna use your body, right? We are gods, right? We have to use our God body as a vessel, and when you are, truly tapping into that sensual energy, I'm gonna make sure I'm being super effective at this, right? Sexual energy, there's a purpose, right? Like, we were put on this earth and we were given certain organs and certain systems so that when we come together, we will reproduce and create more, right? And that's in itself its own kind of power. But when we are sensual, that is us building our power up. But there's not necessarily there's purpose, but the purpose is not to reproduce, right, and to recreate. And so where I'm going with this, where there's a point here, is that we need to really learn how to take hold of our power, whether it's the power that we're building up within ourselves or the power to reproduce. There's a lot of people out here with so many children because they did not, and I'm grateful that there are more young kings and queens out here, but there was not, we did not tap into that power, because you can take that sexual power and put it within yourself and build up your own sensuality. But we're out here giving our power away, and it's creating an unequal exchange. That sensuality does not require another person. Sensuality is something that you can do within yourself. Sexuality, there's this, it's usually something you do with partner, and so if you don't have a clear or strong understanding of your own sensual body, then that sexual interaction is not going to be effective. It's not going to be effective. It's not going to be powerful, and it's just honestly going to cause more harm than it does good. My perspective.
Wow, and I'm glad that you touched on power, and I'm glad that you touched on the power that comes with sensuality and sexuality, because a lot of people don't really look at sex as a ritual, right? We're in the age of Tinder and these hookup apps. We're in hookup culture days, and we're just really just giving that power away to the rest of the world. And I don't think we've ever been taught necessarily how to harness that for self, or how to harness that, for a goal. When I was, doing my little, time, I not by choice, but I really I learned and taught myself, transmutation, because the energy of sex, the emotion of sex, is one of the most powerful driving forces of humankind. That's and if you learn how to transmute that, you learn how to harness that, you're unstoppable. And I think that's kind of what we've seen in reverse, bringing it back to the music industry today. We've seen, these label executives really manipulate and harness that driving force of Black women and Black men, and now we're looking at billions and billions of dollars in revenue being created because of this. And so if we could do it for them, imagine if we did it for us. Imagine if we transmuted that energy. And I'm not saying, do all the same things but be independent. I'm not saying do all the same things and start an OnlyFans or anything like that. But there's different ways that you can really transmute that energy. There's different ways, and we're going to talk about it. But that's maybe another conversation for another episode. Because right now, I want to get into some community announcements, and we don't have too many. But this Friday, if you're in the Philadelphia area from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., Broad and Diamond, there will be a food drive hosted by TCRC in collaboration with the Shared Food Program. So pull up, we'll be out there, get some food. And it's not like other food drives where you'll come and get a bag. You actually get to select what type of food you want. They do have healthy options, organic foods, and you're giving food based off of how many people you have in your family, not based off of, one person gets a certain amount. Like, no, you let us know how many people you have in your household, and we got you. So pull up to that. And then this Saturday, the Ascension open mic is kicking off. The Ascension open mic tour is kicking off in Yaden, PA, for all the Delco heads. If you're in Philly, it's only a 15, 20-minute drive. We're at Social Space, May 27th, 8 p.m., and we're giving cash prizes to conscious performers. And I say conscious, it's really high vibrational performers, music, poetry, whatever you do. If it's empowering your people, if it's uplifting spirits, come out, perform. We're giving up to $500 in cash prizes, first, second, and third place. There's crowd participation. They're going to help decide the winners, and it's going to be a great time. We had ÄTHON BLAQUE on. We actually have a featured performer on who's going to actually be performing that day. So it's going to be an amazing experience. If you haven't come out to one of our events yet, you're definitely missing out. And so May 27th, 8 p.m., Social Space. Let's get this money. And shout out to Neptune 21.
21.
She's hosting with us. She's not here right now, but she's here in spirit. I think she's doing a show at I think Copland University right now.
Wow.
But yeah, she's hosting with us. It's going to be awesome. So that's what we got on the agenda for the bulletin of the day. Mm-hmm. And so this would be the part where we play ÄTHON's music. It'll go through
the
mix.
I thought we were talking about pop culture first, but
we did pop culture already.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So it's Ascension Agreements and Starcast.
Yeah, the Ascension Agreement is about hate speech, violent rhetoric, and then uplifting. And then we're going to be uplifting high vibrations, and things of that nature.
Okay. So something we're going to do.
The power of vibration exists within all art forms.
Say that again?
The power of vibration exists within all art forms.
Okay. Bet. So something we're going to do during every broadcast is drop some jewels for the folks. So as a coalition, like I said, we're focused on transforming the culture and shifting the power structure that is within the music industry today. We have 11 agreements of Ascension that we abide by and that we hold each other to. Yep. And so throughout this show, we're going to be introducing the agreements throughout the series. And today, we're here to talk about the first one, which is denouncing violent rhetoric and violent hate speech culture. We see that perpetuated a lot in hip-hop today, especially rap. I don't know when it happened, when this shift kind of happened, but it is so cool just to kill, especially to kill other black men. Like if you were, I'm not going to get into that conversation, but like we want to kill each other when like we're at war, and like we would rather be at war with ourselves than actually going at the enemy. I'm not telling anybody to kill cops, but all these rappers were, rapping this drill when George Floyd was laying down for 8 minutes and 30-something seconds.
R.I.P. Big Floyd.
And it's like we still want to talk about killing each other. We still want to glorify killing another black man from your community. And so that's just something that we're completely against. It's no excuse for it. If you want to get into the self-defense conversation, a lot of people say that, but we're not talking about self-defense. We're talking about genocide. You know, this is the soundtrack to genocide. And we're so culturally conditioned, we're so psychologically conditioned that we don't even know that we are wielding our own genocide. You know, that's how that is the art of war. Like, white people wrote the book on the art of war. You get what I'm saying? I know it came from Sun Tzu and everything, but they perfected that shit because you have a culture that you were trying to control for so long. And it's like now we're at a point where we're not going to war anymore. Like, you imagine if you could make your opponent just kill themselves. Yep. And you sit back and not only watch, but profit off of it. Like, you get paid. White people are getting paid for us killing each other and profiting off of it.
Yeah, the crazy thing about this is that this has been going on since, I'm not gonna say the dawn of time, but since slavery. They have us killing ourselves because, like, literally each other, because they have us killing ourselves. There was a mindset that was created around slavery. You know, those who were freed and were no longer enslaved by the white man, they enslaved themselves with drugs, with alcohol, with gluttony, all things we still see to this day. And so when you put that into the consciousness, a complete disregard for the self, how are you going to look at yourself and not kill them? You already are killing yourself, you know? You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought it all the way back there, because people ask me, I'm glad I wasn't the first one to bring it up. People ask me, day one, why are you talking about slavery all the time? Well, that's because we haven't gotten reparations yet. So I'm going to continue to talk about it. But it's interesting that, you know, when you go back to that time, and I don't know if anybody's read the Willie Lynch doctrine or letter, you know, but that was actually how they implemented this back then, before we even started rapping and writing and all that. Like, it's in that doctrine right there, the Willie Lynch, the separation of, it started with the old and the younger generation. We see that today, you know, and then it was the dark skin and the light skin. We still see that today. Then it was those in the field and those in the house. We see that today with the classes. And so that separation still persists. And unfortunately, we don't even recognize it enough to, you know, evaluate ourselves and break out of that, because it's really just a cycle. And there's not enough leaders in our community that know the true history. Right. You get what I'm saying? That know that our history actually didn't start from slavery. Like, we were once kings and queens. We were once, you know, running and building civilizations. And so I think here they minimized this down. We allowed ourselves to be minimized because we always have the power. I always speak from a position of power. You know, that you don't allow anybody to do anything. You get what I'm saying? But what we're seeing today is people still falling for that Willie Lynch, that whole mindset. And I think part of it is also displaced aggression. Yes. You know, because we're concentrated in these urban areas. You know, we're concentrated in areas where, you know, we have the worst of the resources. You know, if you look at our schools, if you look at, you know, the jobs that's available, if you look at just the amount of trees in the neighborhood, you know, I'm from the city, and to see, like, where I used to live compared to where I live at now, just the amount of greenery that I didn't have access to just made me angry just thinking about it. But when we're growing up, this is our environment, this is all we know, so we don't even question. But you go to these affluent communities, these affluent neighborhoods, and you see there's trees everywhere. Their lawns are nicely trimmed. There's, you know, bushes, and, you know, it's actually it's biological. Our reaction to plants, our reaction to greenery, our reaction to nature has been proven to actually make us feel better. Yes. It calms us, and it's actually, they did studies, it lowers the amount of gun violence that are in communities. You know, and so when we talk about being high vibrational as opposed to, you know, just perpetuating hate speech and perpetuating, you know, this genocide because it's the cool thing, because it's what they're paying us to do. You know, I think it's important that we talk about the power of our words. and the power of our vibrations. Because you will have some people who will say, y'all are too critical. It's just rap. It's just music.
Just rap.
What would you say to those people who will come on and say, like, it's just music, it's just art, like it's just expressing, let them get it out?
I would ask them to sit down, take a moment, take a deep breath, presence themselves, listen to several rap songs and feel the vibrations. You could, there's a visceral reaction, a visceral response to certain words and phrases. And even if you don't have that reaction or that response in the moment, it's gonna play out. You listen to a song over and over again, you will start to play out what's going on in that song. That's what I tell them. Really, let's do an experiment, right? Let's do an experiment, but we'll have it be positive, of course. We'll have them listen to a song about meditation. Soon enough, they're gonna just start to meditate. You know, and it's gonna be undeniable.
Yeah. What I would say to that person, right? And I'm not a religious person at all, but I think that this book from the Bible is interesting. I think it's John 1:1. I don't know if that's how you quote it, but the first book of John, and it says, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was God, and God was the Word. Something along those lines.
Right.
I'm like, wow. Like, it's little nuggets like that we find in, you know, what we call sacred scripture that is just, to me, indicative of what we're all overlooking. You know, the word. A lot of people will say these words, which are combinations of letters, symbols, phrases, they were here before we were here. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people would say that the power of vibration, or the power of this, these symbols, they're actually, I don't want to say in control, but they're actually actualizing a lot more than we think. That's why I'm super conscious and super intentional about how I speak to myself, let alone how I speak to somebody else. You know, that's something that they'll teach you in any, you know, psychology class or any therapy. You know, you have to have positive self-talk. You know, you hear this word positive self-talk, and then you get into talking about affirmations. Well, if positive self-talk is so good for you, right, what does the opposite do? You know, if you're talking about, you know, how you want to kill this person, you want to slide on this op, like, what is that doing to your soul? You know, and then you have some songs that are just, you know, you'll hear it and it feel like they talking to you. And it might be a diss track to their op or something, but this is all that your subconscious is taking in. And there's layers. You know, they say we only access, what, about 15 to 20% of the brain?
If that, I'm sure it's like 5%.
Yeah, if that. And so all of these things are playing in the subconsciousness, and we don't know what's happening. Well, we do know what's happening, but a lot of us are in denial about that. But I'm a firm believer in what we say, what we speak. You know, we're going to eventually manifest in some form or fashion.
Yes.
And the more that we speak it, the more that we say these things, the more that we manifest it. Now, it's definitely levels to it. If you just say it one time, or, you know, listen to something one time, that doesn't mean you're going to go out and shoot somebody. But you have people that are like me. When I was a kid, when I was growing up, I used to wake up and fall asleep to DMX, to 50 Cent, to Wayne, to, you know, Hove, these artists. And I'm afraid of what that did to my subconscious. You know, I only imagine. And then I want to go back to even before, you know, we got here, how we use music, right? And how we use chanting, because that's what it is. These things were rituals. You know, it wasn't just about the words being said or the message. Like, we literally, black people, we used to dance for rain. We used to dance for the sun. You know, we were at one event last year, and one of the tribes actually did a rain dance, and it started raining 5-10 minutes, and I was upset because I was out there vending. And we had to pack up and leave. But now that'll show you the power. So it's like, if you're dancing for these things and you're celebrating and your rhythm is manifesting these things, you know, it's no surprise where we're at as a culture right now, when the soundtrack to our lives are so destructive. As above, so below, as so below, as above. We have to really be mindful, conscious, and intentional, if for no other reason but to get to where we want to be able to strive and achieve our goals. For us to, want to be intentional and want to reach certain levels, putting certain things in our system is not going to help. If I'm an athlete and I wanted to go to the NBA or I want to go to the NFL, I'm in college right now. I'm not going to be eating McDonald's every day. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to be going out drinking, putting a bunch of bullshit in my system because I got to go to practice. I got to go work out. I got to be on this strict regimen so I'm physically able and prepared to perform at my highest level. Right. And so that's the same subconsciously. I want to be putting things in my system that are going to help me perform at my highest level because I know that in some form or fashion, my body is using this as fuel. My body is using this as a basis. My body is transmuting this somehow.
Not just your body, your mind and your spirit.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's talk about it. That's a big reason why that's one of our first Ascension agreements, to denounce any type of violent, hatred-filled rhetoric, because we know the power. We know the power that we wield as artists. We know the power that vibrations will just in general, and it's our responsibility as artists, because we don't like to talk about responsibility as artists, right? We want to just, create and be free, and that's fine for a lot of people, but for our culture, I feel like hip-hop today, and other art forms, but specifically hip-hop for the hood is what politics is for mainstream America. We're looking at Dirk and NBA Youngboy and the Drakes of the world, and they have so much power that they're not even either even conscious of, or even if they are conscious of, they're not using it intentionally. You get what I'm saying? The most powerful or popular person in the world is not the president of the United States. It's somebody who's been on a reality show for a certain amount of years. And so it's like we're reaching this level of power. We're understanding that these paradigms and these power structures are shifting, yet we're not doing anything to be intentional about how we're using them. We're not doing anything to really be strategic about this. Like, how can you use your platform? How can I use my platform, my voice, to empower the rest of my people? That's my first thought, because I know the power that I have as an artist. I know that I accept that. So I think that's the first step, is us. And that's what we require in Ascension Coalition. You got to understand your power. Yeah. You got to understand the power of yourself, the power of vibrations, and the power of the collective. And we on from there. After you do that, I think it's easy to see why we're not out here promoting violence, promoting, killing. I don't even talk about that anymore. And it was a time where that was really my lifestyle. And so this is not coming from a standpoint or a perspective of somebody that's just, been what they call a square for their whole life. This is coming from somebody who did 8 years in jail for a violent crime, somebody who used to rap drill, somebody who used to, actually be in the streets and to see, a lot of us don't see, or able to make it out to have these conversations. So it's important that we're having them on the platform. What are your thoughts?
You touched on something that's really reverberating through my spirit right now. We're talking about the power that is within all of us, right? And it's like, why do we even want this power? Why do we even need this power? What is the purpose of this power? And we want this power because we want to be free. None of us are really free. Freedom is a mindset, right? We're not free until we truly have this power. And I was reading a book. What is his name? Stephen Covey, right? He's written a book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Great book. He wrote another book, 8th Habit. And in this book, he talks about how freedom is discipline. Freedom is discipline. It's not a willy-nilly, I'm free situation. True freedom requires sustained effort and a focus and a drive, and that's really why we're here, because you need to embody this discipline on values, on stern values that will build us up, will build each other up. It's not going to kill us down.
Demons is coming, they hunting my mind, but I take control cause I'm on the grind. Lucifer holding me down, it's a sign. Niggas is thinking they hot when they not. I work too hard just to get to my spot. Been in a space where I've been through a lot. Remember the day I got locked by the cops. Looked at myself with no interest to living. A legend on earth with a gift that was given. Got through the mud and I made a difference cause I had to do it all, fuck the decisions. Talking to Chucky cause we on a mission. Niggas had told me that I wouldn't win. I fought on myself because of a sin. I talked to Allah, he protect me from jinn. Designed by the source of the source, so while we blind by the course of a corpse, have no idea what choice is. This shit's ridiculous, picking all of my thoughts as I shine through the dark with my R across your charts. Know the name, hella smoke, man, I'm flying like a hawk. Can't never see me like Stevie, I'm off that sticky. I be so gone, nigga, vividly. I live through these bars. Something out for you, and it's your time to go. Everything that comes after, you'll see what that person actually was meant to be. We rising, we rising, we rising up. Now 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 we rising up. We rising, we rising up. Now we rising. We rising up, now we rising. We rising up, now we rising. We rising up, now we rising. We rising. I got my vices on my right and my pride on my other side. Hold tight to the light that's in my brother's eyes. I wouldn't have my own truth if I never lie. The truth hurts and my body been brutalized. And battle scars from the war between me, myself, and I. I'm not a martyr, I'd rather die than be crucified. Sometimes I feel like I'm running out of time and there ain't no rewinding. It's only the sirens, the sounds of the tyrant. And that's the reason why I'm climbing where the signs of the lost can find me, cause I'm timeless. Trying to find silence in the kindness of the silence. Suspended in eternal bliss, the risk is worth the ponder. But I would miss the light that shine beneath my brother's eyelids. Before the pain and sin from mortal man has been accomplished. Had to fall into depression till I learned to stand for something. You gotta stand. But maybe not. Maybe the Bushes and Breakers of Clintons are secretly acting as government props, delivering bullets in cases of contraband and black markets on back blocks. But a black man is a death threat and all they know is genocide. They got bugs and these fucking drugs, but I bet they call it pesticide. So we burning down our city, screaming every day we live. In the streets like Call of Duty now, ain't that some shit? I put my life in gear and stood until I felt the shift. Cause we all trying to make it home, just need a little lift. We rising up, now we rising, ＨETHON BLAQUE. I make
sounds with verbs and pronouns so profound. Make you go and check the profile, it's pro style. Cats stop making their own sounds, but I'm on now. Focus on making it known now what's going down. Taking the crown off the throne now, and I'm throwing down. Oh so cold, 10 toes down. Met you round for round with that ground and pound. Man, he try to box me in like I'm Pacquiao. Late pick of the draft, but the game is first class. Diamond in the rough, all the studs, they won't last. Distracted by the drugs, addicted to blowing cash. I'm flowing fast, different positions. Which is you wishing, but get the position. Hope you listen and catch the wisdom that you've been missing. Fishing for hooks, lines, and rhymes. Search every cranny, crevice, and nook, trying to find a mind like mine, but you might as well resign.
This is going to be.
It feels better. Now verse 2 might hurt you. Finna take it home like you out past curfew. Fella smelling this shit, perfuse with them perfumes, but can't keep it legit when it come to the word use. Talking all that shtick, did that on this for a couple of hits, but it ain't even legit. Cause the shit you spit sounded just like his. Same beat, same flow, it don't make no sense. Please give me a second, listen to this concession. Time to make a confession, rappers in a recession. We've been making up money, been sacrificing the message. Neglected perspectives due to current perceptions. Hooded more than the people perpetuating oppression through manifesting the methods that got us striving for lesser. Given by the oppressors, we all been feeling the pressure, but I'm spreading the blessings and still preserving the essence. Give me the record.
This is going to be.
Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Yeah.
Can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Or maybe I should. Oh, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Or maybe I should. Yo, April 3rd, it was a Sunday, 27 days before my birthday. I'm feeling good, but I'm broke as ever. Get myself together, it's on the agenda, but for now I'm focused upon this weather, just as you should. Yo, isn't it lovely? I woke up and I could breathe. Both eyes and I can see. Shit, I'm on a living spree, so keep your negativity away from me and just distance yourself. Yo, I'm trying to live long, I need my help. Double shot of brown, give me the bottle off the shelf. They say the world is mine, but I just can't have the wealth. Lord Jesus, help me, please, my friend is due up on the 12th. Yo, or maybe I should tie it in, my kids can sleep at night. Yo, I'm going for a drive, flashing lights in my rearview night, and I don't wanna lose my life. So, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Or maybe I should. Oh, come on. Oh, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Oh, can I talk my shit again? Or maybe I should.
Yo, Black, welcome to the land of deceit and the home of the snakes, where equal opportunity is only given to fakes. Oh, say, can you see in this place of sin that melanin up on your skin can get you 5 to 10? First it was crack Reagan, and then it's mass incarceration. Guess it's gonna take more Flint than Michigan to spark the nation. I've been waiting to make a statement, but running out of patience. How can blacks be racist if we ain't even in the races? But in the heart of every black man is a ruler, and in the game of chess, let's manifest and maneuver. And it's true, behind every black leader was a shooter, but I refuse to let these fools continue to abuse us. Unify or die, now's the time to decide. Open all of your eyes, find the God that lies inside. Unplug from the machine, make your own regime. Before it all fades to black, the human will reign supreme. Talk my shit again. So can I talk my shit again? So can I talk my shit again? And maybe I should. So can I talk my shit again? So can I talk my shit again? Now let me talk my shit again. Now maybe I should.
Yeah.
Clear your mind, focus on breathing, smooth and even. Inhale, exhale. Clear your mind, focus on breathing, let's move and even. Inhale, exhale. How far you willing to go? Here to help your energy flow. Chakra doctor got your proper, empty your vision, be one with the wisdom. I'm here for ya, prepare for ya. Relax your inhibitions, find peace with your intuition. See, step one, you gotta feel comfortable. Step two is feel the earth under you. Step three, don't be overthinking it. I see you are cause you blinking too frequently. Please tap into all of your chi. Breathe, I know you got what you need. Breathe, just let your spirit get free. Breathe and repeat after me. Clear your mind, focus on breathing, smooth and even. Inhale, exhale. Clear your mind, focus on breathing, smooth and even. Inhale, exhale. Nirvana is closer than you may think. And I'm honored to help you realize your dreams. Now in order for us to manifest, it's time to magnify your intention. Clear your mind, focus on breathing, smooth and even. Inhale, exhale. Clear your mind, focus on breathing, smooth and even. Inhale, exhale. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. Yeah. In case my point still ain't made, I feel like hip-hop still ain't saved. And no matter what I say, the pendulum swings. Some things will always remain. I feel shame for those who are fanning the flames. Indoctrinated listeners lost their mandate for lanes. The radio station's been pump fake, and Trump about to run the nation through hatred. Where they love at though? Niggas killing each other cause they love that dough and that dro. That's why we po. And hitting licks at the corner store is all we know. Cause we want a taste of the cheddar but never the growth. This is a testament to both. I hope what I spoke provoked you to take notes and stay woke. Yo, pressure make diamonds, so either we gonna crystallize or disintegrate. Preserve your essence and keep spreading the blessings.
That, my friend, is fire. And I would like to take this moment to introduce amazing artist, activist, entrepreneur, and a brother of mine, ÄTHON BLAQUE, is in the building, y'all.
Thank you,
What's
man.
going on,
Thank
bro?
you. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I'm good, bro. I'm blessed.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling blessed. You know, blessed, never stressed. Blessed by the best, never stressed. That's how it goes. That's actually the saying. So yeah, man, I'm feeling good. How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling blessed as well. I've just got a chance to listen to Don't Sleep and a couple of other of your tracks. And I don't know, you have this ability to kind of make me feel what you were feeling when you were recording. At least I think that's what it is, because it feels like when I'm listening to your song, like you're in a highly elevated place. You feel very light. It's almost like air. And that transcends to the listener. And I'm feeling like I got a weight lifted off of me, you know, listening to your music, man. So I appreciate you for that.
Hey, man, that's what I do the music for real, for real.
I hear your music, I want to like hop on a longboard and like go down the beach into the sunset. I feel that.
So you hearing us describe your sound, how would you describe your sound to somebody that didn't get a chance to listen? To somebody who never heard ÄTHON BLAQUE before, how would you describe your music?
Introspective experience. You know what I mean? Introspective experience. The most important thing for me is transparency and being able to talk about what I'm living. Because I know a lot of artists who are willing to sacrifice, you know, the legitimacy of their content because they know it's what's popular. And so even if my music never becomes wide mainstream popular, as long as I didn't go against the transparency part of it and making sure it's coming from the heart, then I'm happy. You know.
So talk to me about what made you like make that transition, or was it a transition? Were you always creating music from a space like this, or was there a point where you decided that, you know what, this is what I'm going to do? I'm going to go against, because you're really going against the grain when it comes to especially hip hop, the genre that you're in, hip hop, R&B. You know, there's, you know, a very narrow range of topics that we're allowed to touch on, especially as black men from where we're from.
Yeah. Well, you know, I grew up inspired by artists like Lauryn Hill, Arrested Development, KRS-One, Nas, Kanye. They had some almost life-defining music for me at the time that I was listening to it, especially like Arrested Development, because that was an all-black group, and they had songs where, you know, it was all about how you supposed to treat your lady when you walking down the street with her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or give a man a fish and eat for a day, teach a man a fish to live forever. And that was the music that I always resonated with. You know, I also grew up with the Malcolm X and the Busta Rhymes and the Pharrell, but even then, even though they weren't talking about nothing super crazy deep, it was still music that can get your head bobbing.
Right.
So, you know, as I got older, I found out that I had a message that I wanted to say to the world, and I wanted to kind of be that positive inspiration musically that I had growing up. So that's when I created, you know, ÄTHON BLAQUE as the brand. And since then, you know, I've only been getting better and better at my craft and honing in the skills to be able to deliver, you know, good music. So yeah, I did not always have the skills. to put it lightly, I did not always have the skills. You know what I mean? I started out very nervous to perform. I used to be shaking. If I got on stage or got behind a mic, you could see my knees shaking in my first performances ever.
Oh, wow.
But over time, you know, I just got better at it and got comfortable with it. You know what I mean? So yeah.
So I guess my question really is, you know, when it comes to the subject matter,
right?
Were you always transparent? Were you always, you know, this intentional about your music? And if not, like, what kind of caused that shift?
So no, for me, I was always intentional, not just with my music, but just with my own thought process. Mm-hmm. I never was a product of the street environment. I would spend time around it, you know what I mean? Because I lived in it. But I never idolized guns, money, drugs, misogyny. That was never me. Just, I guess, tribute to my mom and my dad, you know what I mean?
Shout out to the family, shout out to the parents.
They kept me from that. So once I started doing music, I knew that I didn't want to do that, you know what I mean? I went through a phase where I didn't even like rap music at all. Like, I didn't even listen to rap music. I only listened to R&B and electronic music, like drum and bass and dubstep and all of that. Like, I went to the deep end,
right? Because
I was so frustrated with the rhetoric that I would hear on the music, and I would hear oppression when I listened to that music. You know what I mean? Like, I would hear nothing that I wanted to emulate, nothing that I wanted my kids to emulate. But then I would see so many people around me who love that lifestyle and who are only doing it because they're following the trend. And I've always been a rebellious person, you know what I mean? I'm an Aquarius, so we the rebel sign. So, you know, I never agreed or resonated with that. So the moment I started making music, I was always intentional about this music being positive, this music being something for your soul, is true to myself. I'm not posturing like I'm somebody I'm not, and I'm also not condoning nothing that's going to oppress my people. You know what I mean? So, because words are spells, and you got to be intentional about
spells. Let's talk about
the spells that are being casted. I remember I went to Black and Nobel, and Brother Levi, he used to have classes every Sunday. It was like church. He would break down the etymology of words, where they came from the root, like library. You know what I'm saying? Right. Liber, free, religion, religion. Like, he would, you know what I mean? Like, So he would talk about how words are spells, and when you get into these loops, you're listening to frequencies, and these frequencies are activating certain brain waves, you know what I'm saying? Those theta, alpha frequencies, all of that. So your mind is actually becoming opened and almost hypnotized by what you're listening to based off of the frequency and the sounds that are accompanying it. So the music got you bopping, but then they talking about kill shit, burn people, fuck school. You know what I'm saying? And so you like, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna kill people, burn shit, fuck school. But it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I always knew that power. And so, in the words of Spider-Man in the Great Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. So I knew that I had to be responsible about what I was talking about. You know what I mean? Be the change I want to see in the world.
Be the change you want to see. And so when you look and kind of dissect the culture right now, you know, the status of hip hop today, you know, what do you see? Because I think we're in a different place than we were when, you know, you and I started off, you know, making music. But when you listen to what's out there today, if you even listen, but, you know, I'm sure you hear it somehow or you follow it somehow, like, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's just, you know, a reflection of, you know, black people, a cultural thing, or do you think it's more strategic and more institutional?
Well, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. You know, I think that black people, we like to celebrate ourselves. You know, unapologetically black is a phrase that pretty much every black household has heard before. And so in that, we kind of take pride in whatever it is that we do admire. But I do think that the things that we admire were actually fed to us, and we weren't aware of that because, I mean, mind you, we've only been free for a couple hundred years. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we are still learning ourselves as a culture and our responsibilities as a culture, because for so long we've been just fighting just to be free. Right. And it's almost like when you let a kid into the playground or the candy shop, it's like he just start running wild, you know, and then you got to teach him like, okay, yeah, we're here. Yeah, you can enjoy yourself, but you still got to conduct yourself in a certain way. I think black people still haven't learned how to really conduct themselves and posture themselves to the rest of the world because we don't recognize our power, so we don't take that responsibility. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think that's something that will just come with time? Do you think there's more that needs to be done? Let's talk about how do we get to that point where we do recognize ourselves and we do understand the power that we have collectively.
Well, I think that every black person should study black people, like study history. Right. I was blessed to have a good education where, you know, my high school had an African American studies class in high school. Most people don't get that till they get to college. Right. And then even when I started doing my own independent research, because I've always been interested in research, I've always been interested in knowledge, I started to come across certain things and certain people, and it would send me down this spiral about just our history and the royalty that we came from, and how, you know, the melanin in our skin, you know what I'm saying, how much power that has, our pineal glands, what we used to eat, you know what I'm saying, how we used to conduct ourselves, the business we used to do, the way we did business, the fact that the black man is the original man, things like that. These are all undeniable facts, but it has been whitewashed over these years, and because of the whitewashing, we don't grow up idolizing ourselves. We grow up idolizing what we see, and then we try to become that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's where this whole infatuation with Louis and Prada and Gucci, most of these companies are owned by white racists. You know what I'm saying? But yet we want to get to it because it has a high value. You know, but our value shouldn't be based off of anything external. It should be off the internal. But we don't have the internal value because we don't know our history. Right. So I think that every black person should really dedicate themselves to learning about themselves as a people. Then that'll shift internally how they think about themselves and what they're willing to accept and how they're willing to conduct themselves. And then after you find out the knowledge, you actually got to execute on it too. You can't know all of the truth, but then you're still living the lies. And I know a lot of people, since I was talking about Louis and Gucci, I know a lot of people, men and women included, who might have the knowledge, but they still can't wait till they buy their first Louis bag or their first Louis belt. And it's like, but bro, if you know what this is, why ain't you making your own belt? You know what I'm saying? Why ain't you finding a black owned company that you could support? You know what I'm saying? And making that the new hot thing. You know, and I think that comes down to people are afraid to be uncool. Yeah. People are afraid to stand out. And part of my mission is to normalize that. And I think that that's also naturally happening now because people are starting to wake up. People are starting to express themselves and their weirdness and all of that. And I think it's a great place for that. But I just think that we have to be very diligent about what we say, you know, because this microphone, you know, what's coming into this can live forever. You know what I mean? It will live forever.
That music will live forever.
Right.
You know, you brought up a great point that I thought, when you talk about just the materialistic culture that, you know, embeds itself in hip hop and, you know, Black America, I think back to slavery and I think back to segregation and I think back to the Jim Crow laws and how we were conditioned, you know, when segregation occurred, right? We coveted white-only sections. You know, we wanted to go to the white store so bad. We wanted to drink from those white fountains so bad. We wanted to be able to buy from white businesses so bad that people were risking their lives to do these things. Yeah. You know? And what did that do to the psyche? You know, especially when the blacks-only section was, you know, it was deplorable, you know, from, you know, the perspective of Black America.
Yeah, I think that my mom used to always say desegregation was the worst thing that happened to our people because as opposed to wanting to be a part of them, we should have just focused on keeping our own and getting that stronger. But I also will say that when you look at places like Tulsa, Oklahoma, or the Philadelphia movement, you notice that the moment we actually started to get our shit together, they took us out. That's another type of conditioning, you know what I'm saying? You go back to buck breaking, when they brought the slaves over, they would take the biggest, strongest black man, tar and feather him and whip him, and then, you know, kill him. They torture him just to break the mindset that we can fight against you. Right. We're gonna take the strongest one of y'all, and we're gonna completely destroy y'all. And so they took our strongest infrastructures, they took our strongest villages and teams and towns, and they made an example out of it. You know, so I understand why the conditioning is the way it is, but I do understand that it's not going to change unless someone dedicates the time and energy to be that start. And we gotta be just strategic too. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do it in a way where no one even knows it's happening until it's too late. You feel me? We gotta unite on the underground, you know what I'm saying? And then just hit them with a tidal wave, you know, hit them with the legislations, hit them with, you know what I'm saying, the legalities. You know, we're going to be in this system. If we're going to be in America, we got to learn how to utilize what we can to become untouchable within the system. Otherwise, we have to just move.
And I would add to it while simultaneously building our own systems, right?
Yeah, and building our own systems. Or just implementing our own twist on it. Because the thing is, I was just talking to someone about this yesterday, Sai. The system itself isn't necessarily the problem. It's that it was whitewashed and it was bastardized. But when you look at cultures, and I'm not trying to like ram on white people, white man, but at the same time, when you look at like ancient Greece, they came to Africa as scholars to learn from what we had. Then they took it and then they built Greece. They built Italy. The Moors came to Italy and taught that architecture that people see and love so much. Oh, Greece is so beautiful. Italy is so beautiful. The architects who taught them how to build that were black. We had those same foundations in our own land. So it wasn't the system. It wasn't the architecture. It was just the fact that they took something that was so great from us, put their own twist on it, and then destroyed the history book so you could never find out and trace it back. Most people don't know Benjamin Banneker was the architect for Washington, D.C. Yeah. Which is why the Washington Monument looks like the obelisk that you find in Egypt.
I found that out the other day. I didn't know that.
And he actually put, because he's slick, he put a Herubadet, which is the Horus eagle, in the Washington Monument. It's like real small in the cut somewhere. You know what I'm saying? He just did it for his people though. You know, but that's how you gotta move. If you gonna move with them, you gotta have it like that. You feel me? So shouts out to Benjamin Banneker though. That's one of the many unsung black heroes and inventors. because when you look at it, man, we made so much. You know, we made so much, and we can continue to make. We will continue to make. That's why I make this music.
That brings me back. I want to talk about something that you made that we got a chance to listen to. Talk to me a little bit about "Don't Sleep." What was the motivation behind that song? What was the process like?
Yeah. Okay. So, "Don't Sleep" for me is one of my favorite songs because I said to myself, I want to make a song that pretty much encapsulates not just my own abilities and talents as an artist, but it also encapsulates what staying woke really would look like. Because people were saying stay woke crazy when I was making this song, you know what I'm saying? And woke became the new wave. But there were so many conscious people who really weren't conscious, which is why the song is called "Don't Sleep." You know what I'm saying? Because people, I felt like, were sleeping on me, for one, but they were also sleeping on themselves. They would sleep to the game that's being played here, the chess game, you know what I'm saying? And people don't recognize that they walking around like pawns. So I said, I need to make a song where I could touch on myself, a little bit of braggadocio and cool like that to get your ears perked up. But then as the song progresses, I start making a point about what are we really doing here? What do we idolize? You know what I mean? It's one line in there I say specifically, hood is more than the people perpetuating oppression through manifesting the methods that got us striving for lesser. And because I think that the hood does perpetuate oppression in given by the oppressors. You know, I've seen so many videos and interviews where artists talk about how the Jews at the very top, the execs, they want you to write music that's talking about murder, death, kill. You feel me? They're signing people because they want that. They want that narrative. Because they know, one, they can make money off of you, and then we're going to eat it up. You know what I'm saying? But they also know that if we try to switch it up, they're not going to get as much money, so they're not going to want to invest in that. So they've tricked us to being able to perpetuate it ourselves, and they made a self-sufficient machine of us keeping ourselves contained. And I think that the people who do that are asleep. They're zombies. You feel me? They walking around thinking that a big gun and a gaudy belt, holding a 40 in the shot like this, they think that's cool because they see people with money doing it, and they see in the video someone got the sleeve with the money. All of that, that'd be prop money half the time. You feel me? That'd be the executives paying them, saying, okay, we're going to give you fake money, we're going to give you a car, this and the third, but you only going to get like 10% of the masters on that. Right. Matter of fact, you're not even going to have the masters. We're going to own the song, and then you get like a 10% cut of the royalties. And that's only until your contract is up. After that, you're not even getting paid off this joint no more. You feel me? So it's crazy. So, you know, I couldn't put but so much in a song.
There's a lot in this song.
But I tried my best. I tried my best to make sure that every bar was intentional and that the theme was on really that consciousness without using the word. So yeah, that was what "Don't Sleep" was about. And then at the end I say, in case my point still ain't made, I feel like hip hop still ain't saved. And no matter what I say, the pendulum swings. Some things will always remain. I feel shame from those who are fanning them flames. You know what I'm saying? Like fanning the flames that are burning us down. Indoctrinated listeners lost. We already know what indoctrinated means. You know what I'm saying? Lost, demanded for lambs. Radio stations been pump faking. Trump about to run the nation through hatred. Where the love at though? Niggas killing each other because they love that dough and that dro. That's why we po. And hitting looks at the corner store is all we know. Because we want to chase the cheddar, but never the growth. And this was a testament to both, because at that time I had finally started making money from music, doing shows where people would pay me my value. You know what I'm saying? I've had somebody, just for a donation-based show, someone slid me $100 because he believed in me. He did it on a com too. Ain't nobody even see it. He was just like, I was like, you sure you meant to give me $100? He was like, bro, you making good music.
You looking at it like, you sure?
You sure you don't need me to break this down? Like you want change? Nah, he was like, you make good music and I believe in your music. And that showed me that it's about the quality, not the quantity. You know, some people might listen to my music, but don't nobody want to put money in my pocket. But someone who can see your worth, they can give you more value than 100 people. You know what I mean?
And just think about how much you've had to impact that person for them to go in their pocket and give you $100.
Right.
compared to people that are, streaming these mainstream artists, and the artists are receiving like, I don't know, it's a fraction of a penny per stream.
Yeah, for sure.
So just think about the level of that impact. Wow.
Yeah, for sure, bro. And then lastly, I'll say this. A good friend of mine's, he said, people just be wanting to make songs. People want to make hits. But you got to make records, bro. Because records is what lives on. You know what I mean? That's why people still listen to record players now. Because the songs that they was coming out with on those records, back when they had records, were timeless songs. Songs nowadays, they going to last like a year, maybe.
Probably not even that.
Probably not even that.
It's going to last a scroll on TikTok and Instagram.
The attention span of everybody now with the social media is going so low that nothing lasts forever anymore. Right. People don't even want to make nothing that lasts forever. Everyone wants to go viral. Everybody wants to get to the top fast. But if you get to the top fast, you're going to go down fast.
So what advice would you give? What advice would you give to an artist who's starting off, who wants to make, high vibrational music, but just doesn't feel like, the people are going to receive it because of what's going on in hip hop today? What advice would you give that young artist?
I would say don't do it for the people. Do it for God. Do it for Source. But the reason why I'm so diligent about what type of music I want to make is that I want to honor God. Whatever you consider your God to be, I would think that you should make music to honor that, because you should be living your whole life to honor that. So it'll be hard if you only make music to honor God, but then you don't honor God in anything else. So I think that people really need to create a lifestyle out of being righteous and moving righteously. The music will come. You know what I'm saying? Because before I did music, I was focusing on myself and getting myself right, getting my spirit right, which is why I feel like, even you said you felt like I was like, it was like light. I think that was really God body. Like I was channeling energy, you know what I mean? But we are conduits. So I actually had to charge up first. You know what I'm saying? And that charge comes from who? Comes from what?
Comes from Source.
You know what I'm saying? There we go. So I would say, we have to shift the perspective from being people focused to being God focused. And the right people will come, because not everyone's ready for that. But those who aren't ready, they either gonna get ready or they gonna lie down. But we can't save everybody. That was another thing. In the beginning, I tried to make music to save people, but you can't really be everyone's savior. You gotta really focus on yourself and focus on Source and let all that other work handle itself, because that's gonna be divinely aligned. You feel me? So yeah, man, focus on God and don't forget to breathe.
Inhale. Exhale.
Exhale. There you go. Yes.
So real quick, do me a favor. Tell the people where they can find you. Tell them what you got going on next. You're going to be performing this weekend somewhere, right?
Yeah, actually, as a matter of fact, I'm performing for these people right here. These good folks at the Ascension Coalition. Ain't that something? I know, right?
I ain't even playing that.
Hey,
who would have known the day you come
I ain't know that was you
day
who hit me up from the tag.
I forgot that we even had booked you for that thing on that. You know what?
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
You know what
I seen the
that?
Flyer with me and you on it. I was like, wow.
Luna, did you make
what's
that
happening?
flyer?
Nah, it was just divine time.
That's what they call that, divine alignment. That's what
right, divine alignment. Yeah, so I'm going to be performing. I got a feature with the good folks at the Ascension Coalition. I'm going to be in Yaden. We're giving out cash prizes to first and second place.
First, second, and third place.
First, second, and third place. So yeah, please come through. I know that it's going to be good music, because that's even in the rules. Like, you can't come with nothing crazy. We talking about Ascension, so positive vibration.
High vibration.
We rising. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see what I did there.
And so where can we find you? Where can we stream your music, man?
Oh, yeah. Stream my music at ＨETHON BLAQUE. That's AETHON BLAQUE. I'm streaming on all platforms. Shout out to my song, Free Your Soul with Free Soul. That joint is over 100K. Worldwide. There's people listening to that joint in Australia, Amsterdam, Germany.
Yo, that's an amazing song.
Yeah, so shout out to Free Soul. He really blessed me with that collaboration. We only going up from here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. Before I let you go though, because you just gave me a name. What is the meaning behind your name? That is such a unique name, ÄTHON Blaque.
Yes. Well, for one, I knew I wanted my name to be unique. I wanted to have a name that no one else had or would have. So that was the first step. Step two was really like, how can I make a name that I feel like is an extension of who I already am? So my name is Anthony. So I said, okay, how can I flip Anthony? And then I thought about ether or aether, which is like the fifth element or heavenly essence. You know what I'm saying? And we already talked about how I want my music to be aligned with the higher power. So I figured, okay, Anthony, aether, ÄTHON. So that's how I got ÄTHON. And then Black, that was easy. You know what I'm saying? That was easy. That was self-explanatory because, I already was telling people to stay black back in high school because I recognized how important it was to be conscious of staying black and not getting whitewashed by the subtleties and the subconscious conditioning. So I would tell people every day, stay black, and they would be like, what? That's all I can do. But I was subtly trying to recondition. You know what I'm saying? So I made sure that I had to have black in the name somewhere. So ÄTHON Blaque, that's how that got created.
I'm glad that it got created. I didn't know the story behind that until now.
Thank you for asking me, bro. I've actually thought plenty of times about the first time someone would ask me where my name came from.
Yeah, as long as I know you, I think this is literally the first time I asked you about this.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, y'all heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
I got it here first.
Right here. Listen, man, I appreciate you for joining us. Listen, continue making this high vibrational music because you're an example for so many. Not only as an artist, but just as a leader in the community.
Thank you, bro.
So for today's StarCast, Mars happens to be squared our north and south nodes. And if you don't know what that means, long story short, your north node is all about purpose. Imagine that guiding star, that North Star. It's all about what we're here to achieve, what we're destined for. Our south node is the opposite. It's all about past lives, karma, things that may be holding us back, things that we're attached to. And Mars is about your power. Mars represents power, it's body, it's willpower. And so the fact that it's squared, the south and the north node, it means you might be feeling a little dissonant inside. It means there might be a conflict between, your goals and your dreams and old habits that you may have thought you broke out of. You may have thought you, broke away from, but they still keep on coming up. And so, right now we're seeing that. And I think it's important to just be very reflective during this time and give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. I think that it's important that we review the lessons that we've learned from our past and find ways to apply them into the future, and to find ways to apply them into the direction that we want to go to. I think it's easy with, this aspect right here for us to want to, just forget about what we're coming from, to forget about those things that might not have been, the best times of our life, or, those habits that were hard to break away from, or are part of a phase in our life where we might not be so proud of it, right? And that's what's creating the dissonance, because right now you're actually being called to sit and, kind of analyze that and find, those lessons, review those lessons that already have been learned, and find new lessons that we may have overlooked, and apply those lessons to the journey today. What are your thoughts? How do you feel about that? Have you been feeling this internal dissonance in yourself? Have you been feeling that squared?
Yeah, but I've definitely been feeling the square, but as with any aspect, once you know about it, you could use that knowledge as power. And so I felt really powerful, honestly, being able to recognize like these drives and where my mind is being led to, and choosing to really walk in my truth. Yeah, that's really been my experience, feeling that tug of war and tugging in the right direction. It feels good.
Yeah, I think for me, um, there's been a lot of forward motion, just like career-wise, family-wise, just in everything that I've been doing up until this point. And I think I've been feeling it play out more so with my self-care practices. You know, I get into the habit of, always work, 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 go, 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 go. And it could be very destructive. Self-care is very important, yo. You got to take care of yourself. So one of the habits for me that, has come up and has, really revealed itself or re-revealed itself, emerged, is not taking as much care as myself as I should, and kind of driving myself and pushing and not really considering, just my capacity. And that's very important when you're talking about actually, that North Node, right? I mean, you're talking about what you're here to accomplish and, what you're destined to do. Because if I don't take care of my capacity, if I don't take that time out to do that internal maintenance, I'm never going to be able to reach, my full potential while I'm in this incarnation. And so I think that's very important. And I don't know if somebody out here needs to hear that, but love yourself, definitely love yourself. Luna is not only an amazing DJ, she's not only an amazing artist, she's not only the founder and owner of Mind Body Source, your holistic headquarters for spiritual living. She's also a very, very powerful reader. And at the end of every broadcast, she's going to give us a message from Spirit. She's going to pull a few cards and really just channel. So we're going to allow her the space to do such.
All right, everybody. All right, everybody. We have been working very hard towards manifesting the dreams and goals and the visions that we have created. However, at this current moment, this current stage, we are at a standstill. We're not moving in a forward motion, nor are we necessarily moving backwards. And this is all influenced and due to us looking back. We're not moving back, but we're looking back. We're looking at where we were, what we had, and we're just not forward focused. And so Spirit is reminding us of two things. First off, stick to your craft, get in your bag, and do what you do best, right? And you'll move forward. That's one. Two, when you get in your bag and do what you do best, you will get a bag. There is fortune. There is wealth that is awaiting us. We really just have to stay focused on what we can, and not really, let our minds drift backwards. And just a reminder from Spirit to, keep us going to our next broadcast, is to be compassionate with ourselves, to be, we talked about positive self-talk. We really need to be compassionate in our minds so that we can be compassionate to others, so that we can receive that compassion from others that we truly seek. Yeah, that's the message from Spirit today. That's what we got.
Thank you for that. I think what really resonated for me is when you talked about really just being true to your craft. I feel like we're in this age right now where so many people are so afraid to do what they love, and it's not just for artists, but specifically for artists. Like sometimes you just have to take that leap and take that jump. And just hearing that from the reading kind of like, it felt good. It was reassuring for me that, we're in this, on this right trajectory, because it's so easy in this matrix that we live in to get caught up in a rat race, and make so many excuses for not doing what we love, or working for money. I don't work for money anymore, and that to me is a beautiful feeling. That is such a freeing feeling. I'm really investing so much in my craft, and I love what I do. I'm working for love. I'm working for a spirit. I'm working for, my people. And that feels so much better than me working for money. Even when I had jobs that were paying me a lot of money, this just feels so natural, because money isn't everything. Money isn't everything. If you have something that you love doing, spend your time doing that. Spend your time doing what fulfills you, what really, gives you peace and, what you can't stop thinking about. Don't allow the world to tell you what you have to do. And I know it sounds crazy, because it's like, day one, I got bills. I got student loans. I got kids. I got X, Y, Z. But I'm a firm believer that if you lead with love, meaning if you invest in what you love to do, if you do what you love to do, it's going to work itself out. Everything else is going to work itself out. It's not going to be easy. Love is not easy. No form of love is easy. If you look at any type of love, from a mother, let's look at the most purest love, right? From a mother to a child. That is the most powerful love on the face of this earth. That's not easy. How do we get there? Think about the process of birth. Think about the process of birth and, actually that child coming into the world. Think of the act of raising a baby. Yes, babies are cute. They cry a lot. It's hard. It's stressful. There's a lot of sleepless nights. But that love is so powerful. There's not anything that could come between it. And so when I think about leading with love, people always say, well, I love doing X, Y, Z, but it's so hard for me to find work doing it, or so hard for me to, pay my bills doing this thing. If it was hard, if it was easy, everybody would do it. If it was easy, I don't think it would be something that like you necessarily love doing. I think that the harder something is, the more fulfilling it is on the other end. Success is not defined by the goals that we accomplish. Success is not defined by the accolades that we receive. Success is and should be defined by what we are able to overcome in pursuit to those goals. What were we able to overcome, those trials, tribulations, that adversity that we were able to push through while we were working to accomplish those goals, while we were working to achieve those accolades. And so don't give me the excuse that it's hard. Life is hard, but doing what you love, man, it just feels so good. It feels so good knowing that my job is to wake up and make music. My job is to, go out in the world and facilitate workshops where other people are making music, or to talk about music and then do all these things. And, if you love it enough, you will, push through those hard times. If you love it enough, if this is what you really love to do, you will figure out a way to make money off of it. You will figure out a way to pay your bills off of it. If you love this enough, everything else will work itself out. So that really resonated with me. I hope it resonated with y'all. I'm wondering what resonated with you from that reading. What was it that really got you tingling?
You're tingling. I can feel it.
Yeah, I got goosebumps when you start talking about just trust your craft and, invest in your craft. And that's what I needed to hear. That's what we're doing. We're on our very first, podcast show. And it's like, thank you, Spirit. I'm on the right direction. We're on the right path.
I really needed that reminder to be compassionate. I'll be honest with you. I feel you. I feel you definitely on, sticking to your craft. As you were speaking, I was thinking about how important it is to be passionate, right? And how like that passion is gonna fuel your fire every single day. It's the compassion. I didn't mean to do that. It's the compassion for me that really is necessary. We are amazing. We are amazing beings who have all of these abilities within us. We need to trust in that and really love on ourselves so that we can grow and do more and live our highest truth. So, that's definitely what's resonating with me today. I appreciate you.
I say. Well, thank you for that. We got a treat for y'all at the end of every broadcast. DJ Luna Young is going to come out and take us to the Lunar Lounge. She's going to do a mix for us to play us out, and I'm here for it. I need those vibrations tonight. Let's get it.
Look, I'm feeling good today. I wish you were today. I'm pulling up in the hood today. I understood today. Tomorrow, and I promise I'm being grateful as I should today. I'm feeling nice today. I'm more than alright, okay. Honestly, I'm sorta kinda great. Got a smile on my face. Know what? I might just let this little light of mine shine your way. I'm feeling good today. I wish you were today. I'm pulling up in the hood today. I understood today. Tomorrow, and I promise I'm being grateful as I should today. I'm feeling nice today. I'm more than alright, okay. Honestly, I'm sorta kinda great. Got a smile on my face. Know what? I might just let this little light of mine shine your way.
They say everything works in divine time, so I put in the work, let it all align. Put myself first, cross that finish line. Had to meditate, had to clear my mind. Yes, I'm grateful for the birds, grateful for the trees. Thankful I'm alive, thankful I can breathe. God is all I see, yes, she lives in me. Sacred energy, cause that's my energy.
I'm feeling good today. I wish you were today. I'm pulling up in the hood today. I understood today. Tomorrow, and I promise I'm being grateful as I should today. I'm feeling nice today. I'm more than alright, okay. Honestly, I'm sorta kinda great. Got a smile on my face. Know what? I might just let this little light of mine shine your way. I'm feeling good today. I wish you were today. I'm pulling up in the hood today. I understood today. Tomorrow, and I promise I'm being grateful as I should today. I'm feeling nice today. I'm more than alright, okay. Honestly, I'm sorta kinda great. Got a smile on my face. Know what? I might just let this little light of mine shine your way. 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 Shine your way.
Walking on air, spending these hours in flight. Fire baby on the rise, splitting these codes, racking up all of this time. I made you look, so you might as well smile. You might as well smile for me, baby. I bossed up my life, celebrate me. Haters can't shame me. If it ain't dreams, I ain't chasing. I ain't chasing it, no. Cause I am on a cloud of my own. From a different fabric, I'm sewn. Deep in Africa, my butt shows the stories of my ancestors' gold. Cause I am what they prayed for. I am what they came for. 21st century millennials, straight from the source, straight from the dirt. And then I rose. Black is my soul, magic from birth. Bossed up my life, celebrate me. I bossed up my life, celebrate me. These haters can't shame me. No, no. Just smile for me. Just smile for me, baby. Smile for me, baby. Yeah, yeah.
I'm from outer space. I got Milky Way for blood. Evolution in my veins. I'm gold. up and fall away. I'm illuminated, I'll make a move, start a waves. I've been dreaming about flying for a long time. I had a vision from the birds, they want a cosign. Artificially intelligent way, I'm your future, past and present, I'm a fine line. Yeah, I'm a mislead of this illusion. I am not really here, I'm an intrusion. I don't swim or sink, I just float. I don't need gravity, I just need growth. When I move, it's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble. When I move, it's an earthquake rumble. I won't ever ever fall, never stumble. And I don't need to be humble. Break down walls like Jericho crumble.
As I look outside, all I want is